We all know the big AAA PlayStation games, but let's be honest, sometimes you just want something different on your Portal. Today I'm sharing my 9 personal favourites for playing on the handheld right now. These are my comfort food games, the ones I always have ready to stream because they're just pure, unfiltered fun. There are absolute gems in here you'll definitely like that you haven't even heard of yet. So let's get right into it. First up is Trail Out, and I have to ask, do you ever just long for the days when games were simpler? No massive skill trees to learn, just jumping in and causing absolute chaos? That is why I love this game. It is basically the spiritual successor to Flat Out, hence the name I think, and even Destruction Derby, if you remember those classics. You're essentially the newest driver at the Trail Out Festival, and you're starting from the absolute bottom with no money, trying to defeat 8 other racers one by one. But the racing itself is absolutely mental. Everything is destructible. You'll be driving through buildings, things are blowing up, and there are literally tornadoes touching down in the middle of a race. At time, it kind of reminds me of Split Second, which is another classic arcade racer with all the big scheduled events, which I actually love. It feels like a PS3 game slammed into a PS5, right down to the voice acting, which is so unbelievably bad. It's actually good, you just have to laugh. It's an absolute end-to-end blast, this game, and it won't break the bank to pick up. So if you want some nostalgic arcade racing chaos, pick this one up right now. Jotton Slayer Hordes of Hell. Now, if you've enjoyed Vampire Survivors, and I know I certainly did, you are going to love this next one. Jotton Slayer Hordes of Hell is a gripping roguelike survival horror game set in the dark realms of Norse mythology. You're fighting through these dark worlds to earn divine blessings from ancient deities, but what makes this a fantastic choice for the Portal specifically is that it is an auto shooter. Your weapons and magic deploy on their own once you unlock them, so you aren't fighting with the controls or worrying about super fast paced twitch reactions and lag. It's totally Portal proof. The level design is top notch. It feels really well balanced, and the loadout build variety for your character is huge. It's especially fun when you get into those godlike boss fights at the end of each level. It's easily one of the better swarm survival type games I've played in recent years, and it will provide a nice change of scenery if you're a big fan of Vampire Survivors and want something new but still familiar. Staying with that intense indie energy, we have Cygni All Guns Blazing, which takes the chaos up to DEFCON 3. If you grew up with side-scrolling shooters like I did, this shmup is going to be right up your street. It's incredibly beautiful, but a big warning here people, it is tough as nails. You are juggling targets on the ground and in the air while managing power-ups, and it just looks spectacular on the Portal screen as your aircraft gets swarmed by tons of mechanical baddies trying to take you down. There are also some really cool cutscenes between the action too, which is a nice touch and adds to the overall experience. Between the intense fun of the old school arcade style shoot 'em up gameplay and the replayability, I find myself going back to this one constantly. Whether you've got 5 or 10 minutes for a quick blast through a level, or you want to sit and grind the game for ages through all the difficulty levels, it is a top tier hidden gem from developers called Keelworks, who are actually based in my home country of Scotland, so that's another reason for you to check the game out. Next is something a bit different called Dispatch. I really enjoyed the Telltale games back in the day, and this is an interactive narrative game that feels like the next step and evolution of that sort of game. It's actually made by former Telltale developers, so you can see the thoroughbred experience right there in the writing. It's basically like an interactive comic book where you pick and decide each character's response to various situations and then the outcomes from that. The cel-shaded animation makes it look like a comic book come to life, but keep in mind, this is definitely for adults. We're talking violence and nudity here, so it's much more of The Boys or Invincible than your average superhero story. You know, it's not Marvel, it's not Spider-Man or anything like that. I had such a blast laughing along with these superhero misfits in this alternate version of LA. I've already finished it once and I'm about to start my second playthrough again just to see what other outcomes I can find by making different decisions this time. There's some quick time elements in the game as well. You can switch them off if you're not bothered with them. I just keep them in because it keeps it interesting, I think, and you actually are then doing a little bit more. But we need to talk about the voice acting. It is absolutely god tier, and you may even recognise some of the voices in it, so it is just well worth checking out. I cannot recommend this game enough. You will have a blast. You could even play this with your other half and they could be watching it with you because it's actually that enjoyable. It is just like a top tier TV show, and it is also episodic. There's I think 10 episodes and they did release them staggered. They didn't release it all at one time, but if you buy it now you get access to them all and you can just work your way through them all. Seriously people, play this game right now. If you are picking any of these games up, make sure you check the links at the top of my description for cheap PlayStation wallet top-ups. You can save some serious cash on these titles or even save on your PlayStation Plus Premium top-up. It's a great way to support the channel while keeping more money in your pocket. Right, let's get back to the list. I couldn't make this video without mentioning Balatro because a lot of people I think don't play it because it is poker or just the visuals are old 2D stuff, but this is a poker themed roguelike that everyone needs to try. You're essentially building wild poker hands to beat points targets, which are the binds, but it gets mildly trippy once you start discovering jokers and tarot cards that let you bend the rules to trigger outrageous combos. This game was developed by one person and they did an incredible job with its pixel psychedelic visuals and a soundtrack that literally infiltrates your brain. It's so good. I'm telling you, you'll be hearing it when you go to bed at night, and in a good way because it is a banger of a tune. But the game only cost you £13, and that's the only gambling you'll be doing here, or the only money you'll be spending is buying the game, because after that all you'll be spending on it is your time, because it's so addictive. It's one of these ultimate games where you lie on the sofa and you go, what? Where did those 2 hours go? Perfect game for chilling out on the sofa with your PlayStation Portal. Now, who doesn't love a good fighting game? I've loved Virtua Fighter since I had one of the first 3D entries for the series on my PC back in the day, as I didn't have a Sega Saturn, and Ultimate Showdown is the best way to play Virtua Fighter 5 right now. It has that vibrant arcade fighter look that just pops on the Portal screen rather than going for, you know, that super realistic style. The 3-button control scheme is so intuitive, making it easy to pick up and play, but really deep if you want to master it. I've played a lot of this one on the Portal, I've played a lot of this one on the Portal, and it's just rock solid online as well. It is the perfect way to pass time while we wait for a potential Virtua Fighter 6. Fingers crossed, people. If you want a fighting game that reminds you of, you know, the classic Sega arcade era, you'll absolutely love this one. Now, there's a lot of nostalgia in this video, and here's some more. I can't help it, sorry people. If you grew up in the 90s like me, and you ever wanted an N64 for Wave Race 64, this is the game for you. I never got an N64 as a kid, but I did get one as an adult, and Wave Race 64 still holds a special place in my heart. So any game where you're on a jet ski with really cool water physics, sign me up. Aqua Moto Racing Utopia hits the nail on the head. It's a really fun, simple and cheerful arcade racer with some beautiful levels, jumps and stunts. Just bear in mind, this is a PlayStation 4 only game, so you'll need to play this via remote play from your PS5. You can't play this via cloud gaming right now, unfortunately. So it's one for PlayStation 5 console owners only to play on the Portal. It's also dirt cheap, so it's well worth picking up. But does anyone else wish Sony would let us stream our PS4 games from the cloud too? Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that happen. This next one really surprised me. It's an arcade survival game That's dirt cheap. It's only about £6 and it's worth every penny. You're dodging swarms of up to 100,000 enemies and triggering bombs to create these massive novas and black holes. The visuals and soundtrack are top notch. I'm actually still hunting the platinum trophy on this one because, I mean, this is something I never really do with games, try and get the platinum. That doesn't bother me. I just play through the game, then I'm done. But I genuinely can't put this game down. It is so addictive and fun, yet so simple. Take control of your fireball, weave through the flood of enemies, and time those supernovas. I definitely recommend playing this with a good headset for the best experience because those explosions and music in this game are just something else. It feels like a modern arcade experience that players will never forget, and possibly a cult classic in the making. Now, who doesn't love Ridge Racer? An absolute classic, and Ridge Racer 2 is up the top of the Ridge Racer list for me. I actually never had a PSP growing up, so I'm making up for lost time now on the Portal. This game is essentially a greatest hits of the whole series. The reason I say that is because Namco basically cherry-picked the best courses and music from the previous games and even remixed some of the music and packed them into this one package. It's a drift-heavy, nitrous-boosted arcade racer. The driving system is a bit unique. You brake before the corner to cause, the back end to skid out and fill your meter, and then you blast the nitrous on the straights. It's a weird system that I'm sure some people won't like, but I do. I just love arcade games. It's packed with those early 2000s vibes and looks great, upscaled on the Portal's 1080p screen. It's easily some of the most joyous racing available, as long as you're on PS Plus Premium, that is. It really makes me wonder why Namco isn't making a new one for the PS5. If you love these classics, click the video on screen right now for my breakdown of the 10 best classic games to cloud stream on your Portal right now, and I'll see you over there.